strong impact of his energy field on myself started to rise along the spine like some electricity. A beautiful explosion of light and joy and happiness became a cosmos. I just flew away into space and I was the space. My name is Natalia. How long I am on spiritual path? You know, as far as I remember myself, at least 20 years probably, and it was different spiritual practices and teachers. But recently, during 3 years already, I'm studying and teaching in a School of Spiritual Development and with a realized teacher of very high level and with like-minded people. We are a group of, I don't know, around 150 people living together and practicing together a lot. And our teacher transmitting us the knowledge and the methodology how to reach complete, full realization during one life period and how to spread this awakening knowledge worldwide. I think any spiritual practice, it's about building this vector inside, a vector towards divine, towards home, a will to go on this path. And before it was just words for me that we need to walk on this vector, we need to walk in our practice, getting back our attention from the thoughts, from the emotions, from problems, or whatever is happening in our life. We are taking a lot of attention on building this ability to concentrate our attention and to direct it to the state of pure consciousness and stillness. We are practicing in school very special kind of meditation. It is called Paradanta meditation, which is bringing beyond all limits. And our teacher, he's given us a consonance, personal consonance, and it's a high vibration of a soul, we could say. And so we are practicing a meditation, getting back all the time to this consonance. And I was doing it each after day, not maybe completely understanding for what, why it is so important. And so this day, after one of the joint practices, we were just talking with a friend, and suddenly a teacher came up and started asking us some questions. And you know, I immediately felt a very strong impact of his energy field on myself, on my body, my physical body, and even on the subtle bodies. It's a feeling as if your subtle bodies started to be more awakened, more tense up, more alert, and as if something's starting to vibrate inside, feeling this influence of a high level consciousness, pure consciousness energy from the teacher. So after this sincere and very deep conversation, I just came back to my room, and I planned to do a lot of other things this evening, but I just realized that I'm not able to do anything because these vibrations, energy flow, it just started to cover me. And I just sat down and closed my eyes and felt that I just need to start experiencing what is already happening. So after that, I noted that I was sitting like that around 3 or maybe even more hours. I will try to tell you what was happening. It was very intensive, and it started with some energy from my sacrum started to rise along the spine like some electricity, and on the way all my chakra centers and chakras, they were just opening, and some expansion was happening with me. And you know, on myself, I understood what does all these yogis books means by these channels of energy, chakras, system, and all this stuff we all read about. I was just experiencing all this system living in me, and each cell, it was full of vibration, full of this electricity, and it was alive. And I was feeling as if not only the physical body, but also this energy body and you know, etheric body, or whatever it called. And it was very pleasant. It was very extremely orgasmic and joyful experience. And at the same time, it was complete stillness inside. No thoughts, no mind, as if no mind, absolutely. And I think that in this high vibration field, thoughts, they just could not survive. And then I started to expand even more, and I started to feel the space around me, and the building, and all these people and rooms, and all this kind of information happening inside, sounds and smells, and as if, you know, all my senses become extremely sharp, extremely intensive. And I started to feel far beyond the building, all our small city we are living in, and it was as if I'm expanding and becoming all this at once. And it is very intensive, and each spot of the space, it's just full of potentiality, full of life and light and vibrating, and I feel everything at the same time, even, you know, how my nails and hairs are growing. It's difficult to put into the words, but it's 100 or 1000% of intensity of life, and not only life, but love and joy and blissfulness. And it could not be compared with normal state, but somehow I felt that this state, how beautiful and full it is, and but it's still somehow limited. It's still somehow closed on itself. I felt like it is like in some form, limited by maybe an egg or something like that. And then suddenly I felt this very deep and strong desire to go even beyond. It was like an inner call to go through all this and to go beyond, to divine, to some completely different level, to home. I don't know how to name it, to God. And immediately when this intention appeared in me, immediately all this tremendous feel of energy and intensity, it is as if was waiting for my will, for my intention. It just rushed, collected and rushed in the heart area. And a beautiful explosion of light and joy and happiness just happened in me. And then with a new wave of energy, all this flow just rushed up through into third eye area or crown chakra area. And wow, it was like, you know, some other dimension just opened inside, in all directions, inside and outside. Just it opened completely new dimension within, and I just became a cosmos. I just flew away into space, and I was the space itself, with all this universe around, with all these galaxies, planets, forms of life, forms of energies. I was all this the same time, and I felt tremendous tenderness to all this, and love and freedom, and I don't know how long it was happening. I was just experiencing all this. And what was important for me in all this, and I understood it next day only, because in the process it was just happening. But this experience, this it was happening, but it was finished at some moment. This intensity process, it was completed, and I get back to more or less normal way of perceiving the reality and myself. But this understanding, it is still with me, that why we are building this vector in the spiritual practice, why our teacher is telling us and directing us all the time to walk and to take our attention, to take our consciousness out from thoughts, emotions, whatever states, whatever beautiful and states we may experience, we all the time practicing to get back to stillness and to consciousness in Paradanta meditation. And this way we are building this intention to go through anything directly to home, directly to the divine. And this world, it's so rich. I mean, our normal life, it's incredibly full of information, full of desires, full of all sorts of experiencing, and we are, with our attention, with our consciousness, we are attracted to many, many things. And we want to live totally, and we are interested in different experiences, new things, new desires to be fulfilled. But this experience showed me that we just don't know who we really are. And if we have this intention to go there, we would be so surprised to discover who we really are. I wish this to everyone. It's the most important what can happen with a human being here, to find your path and to start going along your spiritual path. And from my own life experience, I was pretty lucky to find a realized teacher and to find environment of like-minded people, because when I was walking alone, and from time to time through some companies of people, I reached some level, and then I felt that I stopped developing further. And my inner call was so strong that I started to feel the pain from this. And my sincere question and request and call was to find a further way. And then this school and this teacher appeared in my life, and I really thankful for that. And I wish everyone to just keep going, because it's so tremendous who we are, and we all will meet each other there sooner or later. So see you there.